Hello, my name is Ajoke Olumide. I'm a Nollywood actress and a chef. When I say chef, I don't mean the regular rice and beans cooking chef. I cook all sorts of meals, from Chinese to Italian to Mediterranean and even local. I started cooking at the age of 9, not as a professional, but because I had to take care of my younger ones while my parents were at work. And my passion for cooking grew since then. Today, I can tell you that cooking is my life, it's my religion, and everything to me. Welcome to my world. We are here in Lekki to shop for today's meal. Okay, we're going to be buying sweet corn, some basmati rice. Basmati is a type of rice, slightly different from the one we cook at home, like cap rice and tomato rice. It is mainly local to the Asians and it is used to cook Chinese rice. So anytime you say you're going to a Chinese restaurant, you want to go eat Chinese, this and that, know that you're talking about basmati. We will be needing dark soy sauce. We will need some spices. So we need black pepper sauce. We're buying some lemons and some pepper, bell pepper actually. So I'm going to get 2 of this, should do. And I'm getting 1 of this fine orange pepper. And this too will do. What else? Let's look around. Yeah, olive oil. Olive oil, very, very important. Extra virgin olive oil. We need some salt. And not forgetting corn flour, white vinegar, and we need some lettuce. Yeah, some lettuce. What else? Okay.
I'll never forget. They always say when I come to Africa, it's gonna shit. I'll never forget the first time I played landed down in Africa. 10,000 people.
Alright people, we head back to the kitchen now to make our delicious meal. I'm sure you can't wait. I can't either. First of all, I'm gonna have to shred my chicken. Now for this chicken breast, you can either shred it straight or you can cube it, whichever one you like. But I'm going to shred my own straight. I prefer chicken breast for this meal because it is boneless and tender. Okay, this is about all for now. Now I'm going to marinate my chicken. And what does marinate mean? Simply means putting the spices together. But you have to be very careful when you're spicing so that it doesn't get too salty or overspiced. This is me infusing spices in my chicken breast. After putting the spices, then you run your fingers through it so that the spices can go in. Be modest when spicing so you don't overspice. About 2 spoons of flour will do, or you can use your discretion. So you run your finger through it. Now when you're done with this, you keep it in the fridge for like 10 minutes to allow the ingredients sink in. Next, we're going to prepare our rice, and I'm using basmati rice. The reason why I'm using basmati rice is because we're doing Chinese, and that's the rice they eat in China. Although, to cook this basmati rice, you really need to be very careful so as not to get the rice soggy. If you know you cannot handle it, you can use normal rice, but if you ask me, it's best to use basmati. This is the first step to preparing the basmati rice. I'm going to pour my rice in the pot. I already have warm water in here, so I'm going to run the water all over the rice. When cooking basmati, make sure the water is way above the rice, so it has enough water to cook on, else it's gonna be soggy and burn. So I'm going to cover it now. I have my shrimps here now, but we have to devein it first. And don't forget that there is no Chinese without shrimps. Now, why I said you should devein the shrimps is because if you cut the shrimps into bits, you will see a blackish line. That blackish line is the vein. That's why sometimes when you eat some shrimps, it becomes very bitter in your mouth. It's because it has not been deveined. Watch me as I do this. Thank you. Now this is the vein in the shrimps. This is what makes it bitter sometimes. As you can see here, I have different colors of pepper, bell peppers actually. And why I have this is because food presentation is actually very important. If not, I might as well use just one color. Now we are using like 5 colors, and this is for the basmati rice. First of all, you have to cut your pepper into 2, as you can see, and then you remove the seeds in it. Now for this pepper, you can either cut into cubes or cut in strips, depending on whatever you like. So I'm going to cut in strips though. When you're chopping, you need to be very, very careful with your fingers because usually the knives we use are very sharp. And the reason why we use a lot of sharp knife is for speed. I'm going to cut some spring onions too. There are no 2 ways to cutting this, you just cut it the way it is. I'm going to cut my carrot now. Also, remember that carrot is part of the vegetable family. Very, very important, especially when you're cooking fried rice. Now these are done. I need to put it there and check on my rice.
Hey guys, I'm Dumebi Agbakoba, otherwise known as Chef Dish. I love food, which is why I'm on this show, and you should too, because food is great. I'm a mother of 2, and I absolutely love cooking for my kids because you can't cook and eat by yourself. You have to cook, eat, and eat with your family, eat with your friends, because that's what cooking is about, and that's what eating is about. So I started as a creative consultant a few years ago, and that was absolutely great, but my true calling has always been with food. Ever since I cooked a mean fried rice at food and nutrition class when I was studying in Oxford. I love cooking on Sunday, doing Sunday roasts for my kids, and cooking lunches and all sorts of things, you name it. So we're going to talk about food presentation, and I like to think that I'm quite fussy when it comes to that sort of thing. Although on one of my recent trips, I was sort of taken aback with it. I was like, okay, maybe I should question the whole food presentation thing versus the taste of food. So I went on a trip recently to Brussels, and I went to this restaurant, Korean restaurant, and it was pretty amazing because I walked in and stood on the line waiting to be seated, and even before getting the food, even before sitting down, it was sort of like, okay, my senses and everything was just heightened because it was hot, I was sweating, everybody in the restaurant was sweating, and then a lady looks at me and I'm like, oh, it's so hot, and she's like, yeah, it is. And then that made me think, that is just as good as food presentation. If you want to do food presentation at home, you can. It's a no-brainer. For instance, if I was going to plate a rice dish, I always try to put it inside a bowl so that it takes the shape of the bowl, and you place it down on a plate, and then you can put your sauce on the side, on one side of it, and then you can put maybe your plantain or your salad or anything sort of around it, or you can just do a sort of round sun-like shape. It all depends. You can be as crazy as you want, or you can be soft and subtle. I take a sort of soft and subtle approach. I always use a white plate because I'm obsessive about whites. But it all depends on what you like. At the end of the day, it's how the food tastes that is really important.
I think my rice is done now. Why we do this is just to remove the starch from the rice. So we will sieve this now and put it back to cook. When you sieve the rice, you have to run water on the rice to get it completely off, and that is what we'll be doing now. Another reason why we do this is so the rice does not stick. This is done. I'm going to put it back in my pot and go cook it. You're going to add some water. Remember, always let the water be above the rice. Then you add a little bit of olive oil and some salt. But you have to taste for salt so that it doesn't get too salty. I think this is okay now. So we'll put our rice back to the cooker. I'm going to leave this to cook for like 20 minutes or until the water dries off. And sometimes you might not let the water dry off. You can sieve it depending on how soft it is. So right now, I want to make my cocktail and put it in the fridge. My rice is soft enough now, so we're just going to run water on it, sieve it, and keep it down for a while. So we would sieve the rice now and leave the water to drain out. We'll come back to it when we're ready to cook it properly. While that is done, we will make our sauce. And for the sauce, we need, my already marinated chicken breast. We need some green pepper, spring onions, carrots, chili pepper, and garlic and ginger. We need corn flour, dark soy sauce, some tomato puree and ketchup, and also our spices. What we'll do now is we're going to go fry the marinated chicken breast. I'm ready to fry my marinated chicken and I'm using olive oil.
So in my kitchen, I tend to use both olive oil and vegetable oil. People would wonder why, because olive oil is great for low smoking point type of food. So anything that's not too much, so sort of like quick stir fries or frying shrimp or things like that. But in terms of vegetable oil, you could do things that require longer cooking point. So veggie oil is great for like deep frying. Olive oil, no, don't even try it, because the olive oil will smoke, your food will burn, so it's a no-no. I use canola oil because I like the aroma of canola oil, so I don't just use pure vegetable oil. I will use canola oil, and you can get canola oil in any shop in Lagos. And of course, when you're cooking with olive oil, I wouldn't say less chance of putting on weight, but it is healthier. Extra virgin oil is much healthier than using vegetable oil every day.
When you're frying your chicken, make sure that the fire is on low heat so that it doesn't burn. And I'm going to fry this until it's golden brown. My chicken breast is golden brown enough, so I'm going to pour this away and I'll start to fry my other veggies. I'm going to fry my veggies now, but I'm going to start with the carrot first. And the reason why I'm doing that is because the carrot is the hardest part of the veggies. I have to fry it to soften it before I can pour the other vegetables. I'm going to put in my ginger and garlic. It's already blended.
Why garlic and ginger? Because they taste great. They might not necessarily smell that fantastic. Like, okay, don't go and get crazy and then go and grate all your garlic in your house, do garlic chicken and then go and see your boyfriend. No. But yeah, it's great for food. It's great in food. And ginger is as well. Like when I cook, I always start my base as onion, ginger, garlic, chili. It's a great base for anything, for soup, for Nigerian soup, egusi, okra, or your international foods, anything. Ginger is great for digestion as well. So, you know, don't be afraid to use it. Like I've heard a lot of men go, oh, ginger. Yeah, men will complain, women might complain too, but it's great to use it. Honestly, trust me.
So I will fry this a little bit before I pour my carrots in. Why I'm using wooden spoon to fry is because I don't want to scratch my pan. Because when I scratch my pan, it's going to burn whatever I'm cooking. So it's ideal to use wooden spoon whenever you are cooking or frying. It's the best kind of kitchen utensil to use. I'm pouring in my carrot now. I'm adding my red pepper, my green pepper and spring onions, and I'm going to fry them. I'm going to fry this for like 2 minutes. And I need to add my black pepper and some spices.
We're going to talk about spicing. And spices I absolutely love because that's what brings out the food. But it also depends on what you're making, so be bold enough so that your food tastes great. So my favorite thing is if I am seasoning fish and I want to do fish and chips, I would just use black pepper and salt, but not just any black pepper. It has to be freshly ground black pepper. So you can get it in one of the black pepper grinders, or you can just get it in the little tubs, which some of them come ground, some of them are coarsely ground. But sometimes the coarser the better because it brings out more of the taste in the food. And then sometimes you can even fry your spices so that the flavor comes out, because sometimes when they stay on the shelf for too long, they lose the odor, they lose the aroma. So put it in your pan with a little olive oil, and then just let the aroma sort of come out, and then you can put your food in it. So if we talk about black pepper, sea salt as opposed to table salt. I know a lot of people are more like table salts as opposed to sea salt, but in fact I recently just changed all my salt to sea salt because sea salt, well, tastes nicer. You use less of sea salt than table salt because the grains are so big that 1 grain of sea salt is equivalent to like almost a teaspoon of table salt. So you use less sea salt and more table salt. So it's always advisable to just switch over. And to be honest, there's not really much of a price difference if you're thinking, oh my God, sea salt means more posh and everything, but it's not really. Sea salt here is actually quite affordable. So I would say make the switch if you can.
I'm going to add some water and leave it to boil. My rice is properly drained now. I want to start the process of frying it, stir fry. I'm going to add my unsalted butter and melt that inside the pot. The butter is melting. And the reason why I used unsalted butter is I don't want to have too much salt in my rice. The butter has melted now. We will add a little bit of olive oil. My sauce is getting ready now. I'm going to add the dark soy sauce, 2 spoons. And vinegar, 2 spoons. I'm also going to add ketchup, but this one I'm going to add it at my own discretion. I'm going to add some more seasoning.
Other things I use would be Maggi. My trick is to dilute your Maggi in water and pour it into your fried rice, because that way it fluffs up the rice a bit more, and then it keeps your rice hydrated in your fried rice so that the next day it's not as dry. So that's basically my tip with Maggi.
Then I'll cover it and leave it to cook for some time. 2 minutes, basically. I want to stir fry my rice now, but first I'll stir fry the carrots and green peas. I want to prepare my corn flour mixture now. And with this, you just need water, the right amount of water. The corn flour is meant to act as a thickener for the sauce. But you can also add water if you feel that your sauce is too thick, like I'm going to do now. I'm going to add the fried golden brown chicken breast to it. I'll leave it to cook for like 2 minutes while I go back to my rice. I'm going to add my shrimps to the vegetables. I will add some spices. My sauce is done now. So I'm going to turn off the fire. And I continue to fry my shrimps and veggies. To add salt. Now I'm going to add my pepper, my colored pepper. And then I fry until it's soft. I'm going to pour in my rice now because this is properly cooked. And then you stir. My rice is properly mixed together and it's done. So I'm just going to leave it for like a minute and then turn off the gas. And finally, the sweet corn goes in there. And then you mix it together. When you add the sweet corn, you don't need to cook too much because it's already cooked. Should be ready. So this is how you make Chinese special fried rice and chicken breast in hot and sour sauce. I'm signing out with peace, love, and Chinese rice. See ya.
Feeling inspired by what you've seen today? Get into the kitchen, dust off your pans, clear out your sink, bring out your ingredients, and get cooking. For all your food inspiration, catch us on Sugar and Spice.
I'll never forget. They always say when I come to Africa.